Hey everybody, today is February 5th, 2026, and today, in case I forget to mention it later, I was weighing on the scale at 238.4. So, I haven't done an update in a while, and I'm pretty fairly sure that means the scale has gone up since my last update. And so I have not been making good progress in the direction of losing weight. But I have a lot of irons in the fire that I wanted to give a quick update today to let you know what I'm working on. So this month, I am starting pulmonary rehab. I am not sure if you remember or how long ago I talked about this, but I have a significant pulmonary status. I'm considered to be moderately severely compromised in my functional capacity for respiratory. I guess that's a clinical way of saying I have a lot of trouble with my breathing. They attribute it to chronic asthma, and it all sort of got worse as I've gotten older and heavier, and had COVID really badly in 2020. So, the pulmonary rehab I have never done before. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm looking forward to it because I've had a short orientation, and my understanding is that it is a medically supervised physical training for people with cardiac or pulmonary compromises. And you go there and have a classroom portion, and then they have a gym space, and you can do your exercise and workout as prescribed in the gym. And it looks like a gym in every regard, except a lot less crowded. I mean, at least when I was there, I don't know how crowded it gets during, other times, but they are staffed by medical professionals. So there's respiratory therapists on staff, there's exercise physiologists, and then, of course, cardiac and pulmonary doctors that oversee the program. So they try to set you up with a program that takes into consideration your health risks and compromises, but can still, maximize your fitness and wellness. And I'm really looking forward to that because I think because of my breathing difficulty, and now I realize my, status is poor, I think I've developed sort of an anxiety or a phobia about exercise where my heart rate is, too high, or my respiration rate is too high. I don't want to trigger a bad asthma attack or something. So, yeah, I think I have some anxiety related to all that. And I think maybe I hold myself back a little bit. So that program starts next week. And it's my hope that I can make the most of it and build my confidence for what I am safely capable of in terms of a workout. And that program is going to be 3 times a week, every week for 8 weeks. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's a pretty big commitment. I've got to go down into the city to do that, and it's going to be a bit of a drive. So hoping the weather cooperates, but that is supposed to begin next week and go for the next 8 weeks. Another thing that I have going on is my pulmonologist referred me to a local program for its medically supervised weight management. So there is like an end of it that like where they can refer people to like bariatric surgeries or like use of GLP-1s and things like that. I'm not going to be doing either of those. My For anybody who doesn't know, or I haven't mentioned it in a while, my medical problems with my stomach, which includes autoimmune atrophic gastritis and neuroendocrine tumors called carcinoids, excuse me. Um, I don't feel that it would be a wise choice for me to consider either of those options. Like, I don't want them, cutting on my stomach until hopefully never, or, absolutely necessary. So, I am going to be going to the portion of that program that is all about diet, lifestyle, exercise, stress management, all of the above things that definitely affect weight. And I'm going to try to just fine tune my efforts in that regard. And I'll keep you posted, by the way, on how all this goes for anybody who's interested. The medical weight management program for me so far has included a referral to a physical therapist who, you know, went over some basic things. Nothing, groundbreaking or anything, but just some helpful reminders. And I was able to see him for a handful of sessions, and he set me up with some examples of things to work on. And then I also saw the bariatrician, which is the weight loss or weight management doctor, different than a bariatric surgeon, because this doctor focuses on more the angle I'm interested in, which is the diet and lifestyle, and less about the surgical option. He was really cool. I've only met with him once so far. He was the one that wanted me to do the team approach, so he wrote me the referral to the PT. He wrote me a referral to like a behavioral medicine support counselor, because I definitely have some habits with comfort eating. And so she and I talked about some things, which I'll probably do a video on each of these categories later, just because to try to talk about it all in one video, it'll take too long. But we've had one meeting so far. She was nice, and her suggestions were really pretty basic too. Although there might have been a couple of things that she mentioned, that were, kind of like the little nuggets, like each time you see a doctor or professional and you hopefully get like a good, functional nugget out of it. There were a couple things that I wrote down when I met with her that have been helpful, and I'll share those in an upcoming video. And then most recently, I've met with the nutritionist, and she was really good. Like, she really knows her stuff. And we went over a lot of information. And I am currently trying to work on adjusting my diet to take into consideration some of the things that she was suggesting. Again, I will probably do a separate video about this, but in a nutshell, I've been doing some form of intermittent fasting for a while now, and it has really been helping, not so much with my weight loss, frustratingly, but she did confirm for me at this last appointment that my last set of blood work from the fall, my insulin levels have gone from way crazy, out the way too high into the spectrum to now considered within normal limits, which is huge. So proud of myself for that, and I found that very validating, because I knew my insulin levels had been high, and I knew that I'd been working on bringing them down. And she and I both agree that it was probably the intermittent fasting that helped me achieve that. But I didn't really realize until I talked to her that they are now within normal limits, or at least they were in the fall before the holidays. And I am a little bit concerned that I've sort of lost some momentum and fell off some wagons towards the end of the year and into this new year. Emotional eating, comfort eating, holidays, all that kind of stuff. So I am going to be interested to see how my next set of blood work comes out whenever I'm due for that. But she wants me to eat not so much with intermittent fasting, which was apparently really great for my insulin levels, but she wants me to eat more in terms of like stoking my metabolism. And so she's concerned that intermittent fasting isn't going to give me the elements that I need to encourage, a more reliable weight loss. So, I'll be talking about the details of all of that in an upcoming video, but I'm currently experimenting with the suggestions she's made, and I don't feel like I'm doing that great with it. But I'm going to keep trying because I feel like, practice makes perfect. And maybe once I get more familiar with following along with these recommendations, maybe I will start to see some observable improvement. So that is through the weight management program. And then, as far as what else I'm doing in my own personal efforts, is I am definitely trying to pay attention to other lifestyle habits like getting enough hydration, getting enough sleep, stress management. Of course, if you've watched any of my previous videos, yoga is a huge part of that. And I'm currently in a yoga immersion program at a local community yoga center, and I'm loving it. It's going to be for a total of 3 months. And this is one of the books recommended that I have started to read, and I'm going to continue with those efforts. My walking has dropped off like a lot since the colder weather and busyness of the holidays, and just this sort of, I don't know, funk that I have about not being able to walk with my dog because I don't have my dog anymore. Um, but I do miss the walking, and I do want to find time to get back to it as soon as possible. Actually, we had a couple of storms blow through. If anybody's in the States, you probably were affected too because it was like most of the country. But I was able to take some really beautiful winter walks, and it's definitely wet my whistle to get back to walking. So I'm going to be trying to, get back into that habit. And I'm doing a lot of self study. Like I showed you the one book. I've got a whole collection of books here that I'm working through regularly, and journaling, and listening to videos and podcasts. I'm still doing my Stoic studies for anybody who's heard me mention those before. If you are interested in learning more about the Stoic philosophy, I would highly recommend The Daily Stoic or Ryan Holiday, who is the author of The Daily Stoic. He has a free newsletter that you can sign up for, that you get Stoic wisdom into your email box every day. He's got a podcast if you have a streaming service, like I use Spotify, at least for right now. And I like to listen to his podcast, and he's got loads of books. So check him out if you're interested. It's definitely been a part of my medicine and therapy as well, working on all of these goals. And if you saw my last video where I talked about my word for the year, downsizing, I am definitely working on that and making little bits of incremental progress consistently. That's the goal. Slow and steady wins the race. And right now, I don't seem capable of like massive purges, clear outs of either physical stuff or personal responsibilities. I haven't figured out any magic in that regard, but I'm kind of chipping away at things little by little and hoping that they will add up over time and maybe even snowball into larger and larger momentums. Um, because honestly, at this point, I do feel like I'm digging a ditch with a teaspoon. It would be nice to feel like I'm making bigger, more massive progress more quickly with all of the downsizing I need to do, but at least right now I'll settle for the consistent effort that I'm making. So, I think that's all I wanted to share in this update. Thank you for listening. Thank you for bearing with me. I know that I haven't done an update since the last one, like maybe a month ago. And part of that is I'm not a technical genius. So I don't know how to deal with the major problem I'm having is I don't know specifics like editing and, how to make uh, other types of videos other than this, just like record myself talking with no edits. So I do have that learning curve that I need to tackle, and I need to find tools that can help me edit and learn how to use those tools. But the biggest trouble that I'm having, and if you have any suggestions or recommendations for me, is the whole cloud storage thing. I seem to really be struggling to keep my cloud clear. Seems I need to downsize my cloud as well. So, if you have ideas or suggestions on how to do that, feel free to let me know. But that has been my biggest obstacle. Like, I think I spent probably, I don't know, over an hour, maybe two tonight, trying to clear files off my phone in order to have enough storage space to make this video. And then I'll have to do something with this video once I upload it to get this file off my phone so that I'll have space for the next one. And so that's my plan for right now. And yeah, if you have any helpful suggestions in that regard, I would love to hear them. So hope you're doing well and hope to talk to you sooner next time.